Have you ever wondered how your life plan got so far off course? Or what happened to that plan? You knew where you were going, you knew what you were doing, and somehow it wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be. I know that feeling well, and I'd like to share my story so hopefully it gives you some peace of mind, because if you're living in that currently, it's really hard to see 15 years out. It's really hard to be able to know what the next step is to take. So if you're in the middle of chaos, or you know somebody who is in the middle of life changes and trying to understand the next step, please have them watch this. I hope my story is able to inspire and show you that I am truly living proof of going from I don't know what I'm doing with my life to loving every moment that I possibly can. So my name is Elizabeth Struess, and I was supposed to be in the military. That was my grand life plan. I was going to be in the military for 20 years, and I was going to retire at 38 because that's when I went in. And then I'd find whatever the second career was while I lived on my retirement. It was going to get me out of Southern Illinois. It was going to give me the best life. I was going to get to travel. And for the first time in my life, I felt smart and a part of something. And the uniform kind of made me feel like a badass, let's be really honest. Fast forward 364 days, and I'm signing my paperwork on my DD 214 and headed home. I didn't get to put in my 20 years. That wasn't my life plan. So I came home on one of my leaves, and I spoke with the local junior college, and I was like, I don't really know what I want to be when I grow up. I don't want to go to school for 4 years, don't have the money, and quite frankly, school bores me, and I really am kind of stupid. So I need things that aren't going to be too hard. Pretty sure that's almost verbatim for what I said. And I told her I liked art, and I told her that I love to be artistic. I can't draw anything more than a stick figure, and I'm really good at lettering. And hopefully you can give me something that I could, be rich with, but don't make me go to school for 4 years. I kind of wish I knew what was inside that person's head when I sat down, because I'm not even sure what was in my own head. And so this person said, I think you'd make an amazing cosmetologist. I need you to understand that I rarely wore women's clothing. I went to prom in dresses because that's what we're supposed to do. And I'm not anti-dresses. I love stilettos. I love heels. But I wasn't comfortable in women's clothing. I wasn't comfortable wearing makeup. I do it every now and then. There's usually some hooker joke or something because, blending was not my forte at the time. And I could not understand why this woman wanted me to be a cosmetologist. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I said what? And she explained if I just go to school for 3 weeks, then I could get a full refund if I hated it. And I was like, all right, fine. I'm getting part of the GI Bill. I'll try it, whatever. What do I got to lose? I've already lost the life I thought I was going to have. So here's looking up. And I remember walking into class that first day, and I still remember everyone in that room. I remember walking in and realizing, holy bejesus, they're like me. They tried something else first and it didn't work. They didn't know what they wanted to be when they grew up, so they went and had a family first. There were all these different things that meant that it was their second chance. Maybe their third or fourth for some. I knew what that felt like. So I went in and learned how to work a flat iron, because that wasn't in my vocabulary at the time. I think I knew what bobby pins were, and Aquanet. That was the two things I knew about hair at the time that I went to cosmetology school. And it took me 15 years to really truly understand my place in this world. And here's how I got from there all the way to over here. Because if you had told me 15 years ago that I would be in this place, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me when I was getting out of the military that I would get to live in my grandparents' house that I grew up in, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that I would have been happily married to the woman of my dreams, I would have argued I was straight. To the walls, I would have argued that I was straight. So obviously, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that I had a beautiful baby girl that is 11 and sees the world so different and in a way that we need, you guessed it, I wouldn't have believed you, because I didn't think that's what I wanted. I didn't want any of the things that I have now. So it's really hard to know if you're going to be happy 15 years from now, because you won't be the same person. You won't see things in the same perspective as you do right now, because it's so hard. You can't see the woods through the trees. Here's the deal. I just kept taking the next right step that made sense at that time. And there were a whole lot of times that next right step was a whole lot of tumble face plants. But I always moved forward. And at the end of the day, I was always willing to get up. I was willing to get up with mud on my face. I was willing to get up with bruised kneecaps. I was willing to get up at whatever price to keep tumbling my way forward. A sales consultant in Denver, Colorado said he has Forrest Gumped his way through life. And I was like, yes, I know what that means. I run here, it works. I went there, it doesn't work. And here's how stubborn I am. I got out of the military at 19. I tried to go back in at least 8 times. I tried the National Guard, I tried the Army, I tried the Navy Reserves. I mean, if there was a military branch, I tried it besides the Coast Guard. And for no other reason, there's not a recruiting place here. 8 times I tried to go back. Even after having my kid. Even after starting to open my own salon. I tried to go back in the military because that's what I was supposed to do. That is how I was supposed to serve in this life. In my head, that was the only way that I could be proud of myself, was with that military uniform. Because I know the pride I have for my brother in his uniform. And I saw the pride my father had in his uniform. So to me, the only way I could do it was that way. What I've learned recently is that pride comes within for trusting yourself. You cannot have pride in yourself until you start trusting that you can listen to your gut. And that gut voice is the quietest voice you hear first. Not the second voice that shouts, not the third voice that tells you you're crazy. Those are all roommates you got to get rid of. If you don't know where to go next, listen for the small voice. It's the one that whispers, you're good enough. It's the one that whispers, go this way and see what happens. It's the one that whispers, I don't know what's behind that door. Let's find out. But you have to get quiet enough to hear the whispers, because all you're ever going to hear outside of that is the shouting. It's going to be your aunt and your mom and your best friend. And they all think they're doing the things that are going to make life better for you, but they're not you. So you have to find your own way. And that gets by getting those loud voices out of your head first. The 2 things that have really helped me consistently that I have fallen back on in the last 15 years are 2 things. And one of them is a numerical sequence. 5, 6, 1, 5. 5 minutes from now, how are you going to feel? 6 months from now, how does this matter? 1 year from now, is this going to matter? 5 years from now, am I even going to remember the chaos I'm going in right now? And quite frankly, is that chaos mine or is it someone else's? So 5, 6, 1, 5. 5 minutes, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. And how does that get you out of your perspective enough that you can kind of look back in without being so lost in the moment? Because when you're crushed and when you're going through something, everything feels like it's weighted on you. I promise you, I am standing before you on the other side. The other thing that I can tell you, and this is hard, but it has got me some really cool experiences, and I still swear it's the reason that I have the happiness I have now. So when I went through to try out for EOD and boot camp, explosive ordnance disposal, they told us, they said, all right, here's the deal. SEALs that go in, Navy SEALs that go in through training, and they go in and they are just a beautiful, bright, shiny Cadillac. They're all buffed. They know all the things. They're the ones that ring the bell first. They're the ones that can't make it out the other side. Now, if you can go into a situation and you can be the rust bucket, beat up old Chevy, anyone can polish you up and turn you into that beautiful Corvette. And that really stuck with me because it gave me the visual of, okay, so I can either come in like I know it all and like I'm pretty, or I can walk in and say, what can you teach me? I'm a good structure. I'm good bones. I've got a good heart, but I don't know everything. What you got? And when you come in with that attitude and you start listening from that perspective, I can promise the things you hear will be not what you expected. Because when you live from a place of this is what I was supposed to be in and this is the world I was supposed to exist in, you are going to continue to find the things that feed that truth. That's a shiny Cadillac. I ain't got time for that. But if you can come in and say, I've got a good heart and soul, because I know you do. I've got a good heart and soul. I've got good bones. Work with me, help me, teach me. Your teachers will appear and they will explode everything about you. This world needs more you. Please listen to that whispers that guide you. Become that beat up old Chevy so we can polish you up and make you new. But remember, you have good bones. Nobody else needs to make you them. And 5615, when you can't get through the weeds. Please leave your comments below. I would love to know if this was helpful or any other things that maybe get you through those moments of why me, why now, how do I get out? I hope all of this is helpful. Again, yours truly, Elizabeth Struess. It has been my honor to serve you.